Hello, good afternoon. How are you all feeling? Oh, okay. Should we try that again? How are we all feeling? So as you can see, my name is Cheryl Quantick, but I'm also known on social media as Self-Love with CJQ. And the type of content that I create is more about empowering women, talking about normal things that society has kind of maybe made us feel like is not normal. So a bit of background about me. I've always kind of been a creative soul in the sense of like I'm a dancer. And I've always, I guess, posted quite positive content on my personal page. And it got to a point where so many people were messaging me, oh, I love your confidence, I love everything that you're doing. How can I be more confident? And I'm not kidding you, one day I said to myself, why don't I just create a completely separate page? And that's exactly what I did. Me and my boyfriend went and sat in a park, and we came up with the idea. We thought about, the colour scheme. We thought about how we're going to plan it out, because all of these things are important. If you are kind of into social media, all of the aesthetically pleasing looking pages, planning your content. So we sat and we planned all of this content, and it was kind of going for about a year. Then my page got hacked. And it was awful, because it was just like, it was almost like Instagram was run by aliens, because I couldn't get my page back. So in that moment, I just said, you know what? While I'm here, let me start a new page. I completely started all again. I managed to get majority of my followers back, and I'm still building it, kind of like a year later. And I think one of the most important things that I can share with you about content creating, or, if there is something in social media that you are doing, always be you. Like, you can obviously follow people that inspire you, yes. Unfollow anyone that makes you feel bad about yourself, that makes you feel any kind of negativity, unfollow them. Follow people that inspire you, that encourage you, but also try not to compare yourself to other people, because you are you, and that is your superpower. So someone else may be doing, there's loads of women that talk about body positivity and confidence and stuff like that. So I could have easily just said, oh, well, I'm not going to start a whole new page because there's loads of other women doing it. But those other women are not me. And that is my superpower, and that is your superpower, because you are you. So I'd always say, come back to your why. Like, think about, what is your why? Why do you create the content that you create? And then always, if you're having days where you're doubting yourself, come back to your why, because it's so important. Your why is what makes you who you are. I love creating content. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with an app called InShot. I use InShot for a lot of my content creating. And it's important to be consistent in what you're doing. So you can't just kind of, I'm going to start this page and I'm going to, just post whenever I want. Unfortunately, you do have to be consistent. And you do have to be engaging with your followers. There's so much about it. It's a full-time job. So you need to obviously be making sure that you've got your set days where you're creating your content. You've got your days where you're posting it. You've got your days where you're kind of like engaging with people, because you don't want to just post something and then just leave it. You need to make sure that you're engaging, making sure you're going to networking events all the time. Obviously, that's how I met Jackie, which was amazing. And obviously, I got to meet other content creators. But I guess social media can be draining. So making sure that you're taking the time out that you need. Like, don't also feel pressured by social media to have to be someone that you're not, or to have to consistently show up, because it's okay to be who you are, and it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling sometimes. but also being open and transparent. And I guess that's probably how I got a lot of my followers, because I'm so honest and open with my followers. I'm constantly talking about, if I'm having a bad day, I show up and tell people that I'm having a bad day. I'm not consistently up here, because that's not reality, that's not life. Like, you can't consistently be on this cloud nine. It's okay to have days where you're not okay. And of course, if you want to share that, that's entirely up to you. Or you can have days where, do you know what, I'm not having a posting day, I'm not having a creative day. And that is also okay. Obviously, the stuff that I talk about a lot of mindfulness, mental health, and I think it's important to share those moments with my followers. So just be mindful of your surroundings and what you are talking about and what you are posting. Like, honestly, just be you. That's the one of the best advice. Like, it's your personality, it's your page, it's your content. Like, no one else can create that content. Obviously, yes, you can get inspiration from people, but you don't need to be anyone else but yourself. And like I say, I think that's where I got a lot of my following. And it's really hard to conversate with people that say, oh, but I just want to be like you. But I always have to remind them that you are you. You're like, that's your superpower. And I didn't get to where I am now by pretending to be anyone else. I have just stuck to my guns, consistently been myself, and I'm passionate about what I post. I love spreading that positivity. I love talking about things that are normal. You know, I grew up in a society where, you know, there was magazines, and the magazines constantly had celebrities in them that were slating them for what they had, like cellulite, gaining weight. So it was really kind of weird to talk about all of the things that I talk about now. And it still is now, I'd say. There's still kind of, we're getting somewhere, but sometimes it does feel like brands are doing it to kind of benefit them and not actually passionate about it. So there's still kind of those angles. But for me, it's a passion. Like, I'm absolutely passionate about creating the content that I create. And even if I post something and only one person likes it, I still think that one person, I might have made an impact in their life. So whether it is only one person, I think we get so used to looking at likes, looking at how many followers we've got. None of that is necessary if you're passionate about what you're posting. And if you've changed someone's life, or you've helped someone, or you've given someone the information, like, that's that one person. And the more and more you're consistent, the more and more people you'll help. So always come back to your why. Always, always come back to your why. And now, I don't know in this room if you've already thought about what content it is that you want to create or what avenue you want to go down. But you're really, really lucky to have this space, because growing up, and I was saying this to Jackie earlier, like, I didn't have any of these opportunities. Like, being creative when you were younger wasn't really a job. Like, we was always kind of pushed to, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? But if you always had to kind of say, oh, I want to be a nurse, or I want to be a doctor, or it was always something that was kind of like pushed, that was like as classed as a normal job. Being creative wasn't classed as a job. And even now, I currently got a job with a fitness brand called Bounce Fit Body, and they hired me as their body love coach. And I have to create some of their content. And I was sitting at home the other day, and I was editing, and I was just doing what I was doing. And my dad came home and he went, "You been working today?" "Yeah." "Oh, but you're not dressed." "No, I've been working on my phone." He was like, "Oh, I wish I could get paid to be on my phone all day." And even then, like, that judgment of him not seeing that what I was doing, I was working, just because I hadn't got dressed, and like, I was still working, but in kind of like that old-fashioned term, being a creative is not like such a thing. And even now, like I had to say to him, like, Dad, this is a job. Oh, I wish I could be paid to be on my phone. But it's just, so it's hard to push through certain barriers, but stay consistent, stay true to who you are. But yeah, that brings me back to, I don't know what kind of content or what avenue you want to go down with your career. I don't know if you do have any pens or papers with you, or you can use your phone. But I just want to take about 10 minutes, and I just want you to kind of, first of all, have a little think about what it is that you might want to go down to, like what avenue do you want to go down with your career? Write that one goal down. Like, it could be anything. It could be influencer, it could be producer, anything. Obviously, everyone's goal is going to be different. But I want you to write that one thing down, and then I want you to write 3 little steps in what you need to do in order to get there. This is a great way of breaking down your goals. And this is one step that really helped me, because sometimes when you've got a goal that's like really big, it's a bit scary and it's a bit like, I don't think I'm ever going to reach that goal. But actually, if you've got that big goal written down and you write 3 small steps as to how you're going to get there, it kind of makes it seem a bit more doable, because all you've got to do is the small steps to get there. And it might even be, say if you want to be a content creator, it might even be get a camera. Like tiny steps like that. So I just want you to take 10 minutes and really kind of sit with your thoughts. Obviously, I know some of this mindful stuff can be a bit scary in the sense of, oh, I'm not doing that stuff. But trust me, it is, all of this stuff is necessary in your life. Following your goals, writing down your goals is necessary. Like, to visually see what you want to do, you can look at that every day. And sometimes you've taken a step towards that goal in your career without even realising. Because once you've put it out there, that's what I want to do, things will start coming to you because you've already put it out there. You've put it out there that that's what you want. Yeah? So take 10 minutes and just write down what it is in your niche, whatever it is. Write it down, and then 3 small steps as to how you're going to get there. Yeah?
I'll give you 10 minutes to do that, guys.
Go.
So you write down.
How? Hello. How are we getting on? Half finished? Oh, you finished? Okay. How did you find that task? Did you find it hard or was it easy?
I felt like it was pretty easy because I already had a few ideas and future film projects in my head.
Okay.
In like 5 minutes while they're still detailed.
Okay, cool. Anyone else? Did anyone else find it hard? Was it hard breaking it all down, or was it pretty kind of like you all know what you want to do?
Someone said useful.
Useful?
Found it really hard.
Did anyone find it really hard?
No.
That's really good.
She doesn't even know.
Yeah, you are. Because sometimes it is really hard to actually narrow down what you want out of life. But that's really cool that you kind of narrowed it down. So the next, I do have another task for you. And you're going to be like, ooh. But this is another positive way to then take your next kind of step into what you want to do. So that one goal that you writ down, and that one journey that you want to take yourself down, I just want you to just trust me on this, okay? Go with me. I just want you to take a moment to just close your eyes. Close your eyes. And I just want you to take in some deep breaths. Just calm your breath, calm your nervous system. I knew they'd be giggling. This is something that's a bit more spiritual. So, but honestly, bring in that goal whilst your eyes are closed. Really be in the moment and take some deep breaths. And I really want you to focus that one thing that you wrote down that it is that you want to do. I really want you to bring that to the forefront of your mind. And I want you to think of I want you to think about that you've already got that job. You're already doing that job. And I want you to think of what it feels like to be doing that job. What are you doing on a daily basis? What's your daily routine looking like? And I want you to really focus on that feeling. Are you enjoying it? Keep calm in that breath as well, like keep breathing into it. Because sometimes when we do have these moments to have the thought, sometimes something might come in like a limiting belief. A limiting belief is something that can distract us from being our full potential. And it might be something like, oh, but I'm not good enough to do that. But I want you to replace those thoughts with, I am good enough to do that. And this is what I am doing. This is my life. And I want you to really imagine that that is your life. You are doing your dream job. Focus on that feeling. How does it feel to be in that dream job, that dream life? Take a few more deep breaths and really focus on that thought and that feeling. You've already put it out there. You've written it down. You've put it out there, what you want. The most important thing about writing down your goals and putting those things out there is you've put it out there that that's what you want in life. And it's really crazy because the universe does crazy things in order to give us the things that we want. You may think that I sound a bit crazy right now, but I promise you, by putting it out into the universe, this is what I want, opportunities will come your way. You'll meet people that are in the same industry, or you might network with people. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Did anyone fall asleep?
No, eyes are open.
No? Eyes are open, cool. But when you have these moments of doubting yourself about what it is that you want to go into, visualizing it, and it's kind of you can call it a meditation. Visualizing where you want to go and actually thinking to yourself, I've already got the job, like thinking what it looks like, what's my daily routine, thinking about all of those things can really kind of push that narrative and can really bring that focus back and get rid of the kind of limiting beliefs that try and come in. Within your niche, whatever it is that you want to do, surround yourself with people that support it, that uplift it, that do the same thing, and like have like a little family of maybe like a group of you that one does this and one does that, because sometimes all you need is an idea. And if you've got that network of people, like I need a team of people, but sometimes if you haven't got the funds to start paying for things that you need, if you've already got that network of team, like make friends within your community right now, because that's one of your best tools, like having that team of people that can help you. Surrounding yourself with the right people is absolutely key. Like, it's so, so key. I cannot stress. And anyone that makes you feel like you're not doing enough, or they're kind of bringing you that negativity, we say, see you later. See you later. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Take yourself away from that situation. So yeah, I hope you found those tasks helpful. Always come back to that, and always come back to your why at any point. And I know a lot of you are still young, and I know that when I was young, if someone told me this information, I'd be like, whatever, because I was one of those little young people. But I wish when I was younger that I had these opportunities that you do now, because I maybe could have been bigger than what I might have been doing something similar, but on a bigger scale. And I am getting to that point. Everything, I did a really scary thing last year, because I grew up in a very let's 9 to 5 job, be in a normal job. last year I left my full-time job without having anything else in line. It was really scary. But the minute I left that job, opportunities in the areas that I wanted to work in came my way. And recently, the Bounce job, so they are a fitness brand, but they have always had the narrative of kind of like focus on fitness, come and lose weight, burn all these calories. But now they want to head down the road of kind of actually just moving your body is so good for you. Like whether you're going for a walk, whether you're going for a run, whether you are kind of like bouncing, moving your body is really good for you. And they reached out to me. You know, they see what I was doing on my page, they see my brand, they see my focus, they see what I was doing, and they approached me and said, do you want to be our body love coach? And I was just like, what? If anything, it was the most scariest thing because they came to me and I had like 2 weeks where internally I just wanted to cry and get into a little ball. Where it was the most exciting time of my life. But I think it was so overwhelming that someone had actually approached me for being me and what I was doing. It was so scary, but I've kind of gone in head first and I'm enjoying it. I'm still getting used to the job role. But the fact that I took that opportunity and I left my job and I put myself into that zone of I came out of my comfort zone, but everything that I'm doing now, what I wanted to do, came my way just because I put that energy out there. I put it out there, I wrote it down, this is what I want to do. So those tasks that I gave you, they're really important and they'll really kind of contribute to your future in content creating. So, I think, should we move on to, yeah? Does anyone, go on.
Can I? Oh, yay, thanks, quick. I've got loads of questions that I've kind of written on behalf of you guys because sometimes I know people don't want to ask questions. But please do put your hand up now and I'll bring the mic over if anyone's got any questions for Cheryl. So, yeah, does anyone want to? Honestly, yes, Dan, don't hide. Put your hand up, like, yes.
So on social media, there's quite a lot of hate for lots of different people. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with any negativity that comes your way?
So it's the social media world has that flip side. And I think the one thing that I do is I delete it straight away. I don't even pay it any attention because I've realised that the more you pay it attention, you're actually letting them win by paying them that attention. Because by you replying, it's almost kind of like fueled a little fire in their soul that's like, I've upset them. Do you know what I mean? So I delete it straight away. And I don't even pay it any attention because they're not worth my time. And I just think if you've got more time to spread hate, I'm not here for it. So I literally just delete it straight away. Anyone else?
Yeah. I am coming.
Kind of leading on from the hate side of it, and I know how you said earlier that your dad kind of doesn't really respect what you do as a job. How do you kind of deal with like people who are close to you, like family, telling you like hate of your job?
So I would explain how them reacting to what it is that you're doing has made you feel. Obviously, wording is everything. If you kind of go in shouting and you've made me feel like dirt, do you know what I mean? Like if you go in with that energy, you're going to get that energy back. But actually, if you just approach them and just say, look, I want to be really honest and open, like what you said, has made me feel, really bad. And kind of give them an understanding about what it is that you're doing. And lead them down the road and say, look, this is what I want to do. And this is my why, and kind of give them a bit more of understanding. Because sometimes all it is with adults, especially from a different generation, is that they just don't understand where we're going. Because obviously we're a completely different generation. They didn't have social media. So I think sometimes it's just making them understand what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it and where you can go with it, and just giving them that little bit more understanding, and sometimes having that a little bit more understanding yourself. about where they've come from. Because I had to have that conversation with my dad. I just said, look, this is what I'm doing. It's just, I'm doing it X, Y, Z, and you're just explaining it, and it just gives everyone a little bit more understanding in the room.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, have you experienced it?
Yeah, a little bit from my parents. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I think as well, it depends on I think with certain cultures as well, you can have quite, it can be hard in the sense of obviously some people want you to really focus on being doctors and stuff like that. But like I say, making sure that you're communicating and just making them understand what it is that you're doing. But also never stop doing it just because someone doesn't want you to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I was the film guys in the room. I did a film production degree, and I remember my parents I still don't think they really get it now, but I just don't care anymore.
No, exactly.
You know, when you're just like, well, I'm a teacher now, they understand that, but they're like, you teach content creation? What's that? Oh, that's Facebook, okay. And I just don't care anymore. Do you know when you're so fed up of explaining, like, films are a thing, people go to the cinema, I want to be a producer, they still give you negativity. So
yeah, just that I'd never give up because someone has told you that you can't do it. If you've got that idea, the best thing that you'll ever do is, even if you try that idea and it fails, at least you tried it. That's the positive from it. But if you don't try it, how are you going to know? So just do it.
Just do it. Did you have one? Yeah, cool. Ria?
I remember following your page ages ago. I was introduced to it by Jackie, and I absolutely love how personal you are with your message as well. But I wanted to know how you find the fine line between transparency and just personal space.
As in, what do you mean? What I share?
How much you share? Because I remember you took some time out of social media as well, which I really respected that, because you do it for the community and not so much the stats.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know, how do you stop yourself from sharing too much, or do you just kind of go all out with it?
I don't really there's nothing, I guess it's what I feel is okay to share. If I feel like there's still something that I'm sitting on that I am going to share, but it's just finding the right way, because obviously you've got different communities that might be triggered by certain things. But I think when I'm passionate about it and I've got something to say, I just say it. And I think, not everyone is going to like what I have to say, but at the end of the day, it's me and that's my story. And that's what I go with. I don't think, I'm not going to say that because it's going to upset so-and-so. I say it because, I just need to say it. And I think by being so open and transparent, that's how I've got the followers that I do have. Because I have been open and transparent. And there are certain things that I've shared that probably are maybe too much. But it's a case of not caring, in the sense if it's something that you don't like, just unfollow me. I would rather be honest and open about what it is that I'm going through than not feel like I can't say something because I'm worried about upsetting someone.
Yeah. Your content's really authentic to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think some people like the polished, beautiful pictures. We were talking about this yesterday in the content panel, but I think content's definitely moving to be more authentic.
Yeah.
Which is why you're staying that way, I guess, because it's who you are.
Have you had anyone there to support you the entire time you've been trying to create content and stuff?
I probably am my own number one supporter, but my boyfriend, that's right there. Not saying it just because he's here, but no. Obviously, it's important as well, because the kind of content that I do create, I am putting my body out there. I'm putting a lot of my life and stuff, and there's not a lot of, I guess, relationships that would understand that, but he understands it and he supports it. In fact, he creates some of my content because I am a Savage Fenty brand ambassador, so whenever I get the stuff, we create the content together. He creates it for me, and I guess my mum is my number one fan, but she guessed that there's still certain parts of it she doesn't understand, the editing and kind of, it's similar to my dad. Oh, have you been working today? You know, like the stuff that she wants me to do at home. And I'm like, actually, I'm quite busy today. She's like, oh, but you're at home. Yeah, I'm still working, Mum. But having a community on my page as well, I have a community of women and we have like a separate chat. So it's a space, so if we are having kind of like either like a mind block or if we are having bad days, I have got a community and a safe space that I can go to and we talk and we uplift and support one another. So it's really important, this is why I was saying it's really important to surround yourself with the right people and you know, build that community. And I've got a really beautiful community online as well. Whenever I am going through anything, they support me and they're there and they're like, we'll be here when you get back. So it's really important to build a community and have that support around you. And like I say, build that little family of like all different, you know, like one's a photographer, one's a, do you know what I mean? Have that little community that is there to support and uplift you. But also remember to be your number one fan, like support you, like whatever you're doing, do it with 2 feet in, do you know what I mean?
Thanks for your question. Any more questions? No? I've got a couple
Ooh.
before we finish. So how do you make sure, and this one's for my content creation students really, because I'm always asking them to have ethical considerations, sustainable considerations, and all those kind of like morals and stuff. How do you make sure that the content creation that you share is ethical in terms of what you post, who you follow, and what you choose to share?
What do you mean?
I mean, like what's morally right and wrong? Like, how do you make those decisions? So we talk about Andrew Tate quite a lot. Would you ever share any of his content? The fact is, you are ethical as hell, right?
Do you know what? Do you know what? As hard it is. Obviously, there's not much that I do like about Andrew Tate, but there are, and what's really annoying, there are little gems that he drops that are relevant, and it makes it really annoying. But I don't think I've ever shared any of his content. Like, even if I agree with it, I probably wouldn't share it. Just because of everything else that he stands for.
So you are quite careful about what you share to your followers.
100%. But it's also going back to that, it's really hard, and I think social media makes it hard to talk about things that I'm probably more passionate about. And in the sense of like normal stories, or if I'm showing my skin, the story views are like through the roof. But the minute I talk about something political, racist, anything, like if I'm kind of
calling
like
people out,
calling people out, or just talking about stuff like that in general, my story views go way down.
Oh, really?
So it's almost like they don't want you to talk about those things.
Right. That's interesting.
It's honestly,
I love when I hear opinions from people, so I'm surprised, you know, but I guess people follow you for different reasons. Maybe they don't want to hear that.
No,
That's really
I think Instagram do it on
you think
purpose.
the algorithm do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it does it on
Have
purpose.
you noticed the difference between, say, Instagram and TikTok in terms of that stuff, or does it seem to be pretty similar across the two?
Mate, TikTok is a completely different world. It is a world on its own. And it's almost like they push hate on TikTok. It's really weird. That there's a few content creators that are massive, but they are absolutely nuts.
Really?
Yeah, like they don't bring any value to anyone's life other than drama.
Right.
And I'm like, why are we making these people, like why are we putting these kind of people on a pedestal?
Yeah.
But yeah, there seems to be a lot more hate, and TikTok seems to push a lot more hate
Than Instagram.
than Instagram, yeah.
So it's almost like Instagram are almost silencing opinions, but TikTok are publishing them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting. Who is your favourite content creator, say like YouTuber or Instagram? Who do you love and admire? Why is he laughing?
She's not really like. I really like people that are just real and themselves. One's a music artist, Jessie J. I went to see her recently, and she's just, whatever she is on her social media, she's the same in real life. Like, she's so real. The stuff that she talks about, she's funny, she's positive. And also the other one is Maya Jama. She's exactly the same. Like, she has just taken her career to the next level by being herself. Like, she is who she is. And she's just incredible. I love everything about her, like her personality, and it really kind of shines through, and she's that person.
Yeah. I don't follow either of them, so I'm going to go follow them now.
Do it.
Do you think it's important for people to curate their feed and get rid of negativity? You kind of said that already, but
Yeah.
why do you think this is so important for these guys to kind of get rid of those people?
Because I think sometimes if we are having a bad day, those people can catch us off guard and can actually make us feel a certain way. If any of you are following me, you'll notice that my compared to my followers, who I'm following is really little, because I've set that boundary. I set that boundary of who I follow. I don't want to be, if I'm going to spend a lot of time on my social media, I don't want to spend my time looking through people's posts where it's kind of like, oh, I went to the shops today, or like, do you know what I mean? I want to see what I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see stuff that's going to inspire me, or women that are doing the same thing as what I'm doing, so I can support them. So it's really important to kind of like get that through your social media, and don't feel like you have to follow anyone because they followed you. Like, don't feel like you have to. Like, that's your social media. Like, that's your boundary.
Yeah, it's your space.
Yeah.
So another one, and I guess more for the content guys, and you kind of mentioned it earlier about when you went to the park and planned out your channel, but do you have like a content calendar that you stick to? Like, do you have, I want to do this many posts this week at these times on these days? Like, what do you do? Tell me you're organised, please, Cheryl.
Do you know what? Sometimes I'm organised, and I guess obviously working for Bounce, I've had to be a little bit more organised on my busier days. Like today, obviously I've done a lot of International Women's Day posts like on my own feed for Bounce, and I had to like make sure that they were posted at certain times.
Sure.
But I'm also such a in the moment content
Organic,
creator. Like sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, I want to create that today, and I do it. I do it in the moment and I post it.
So you kind of got two hats on in a way. Your
Yeah.
kind of brand deal, if you like.
Yeah.
And then your organic content.
Yeah, I think it's because I find that if it's scheduled, I don't know, I just don't find it as authentic.
Yeah, no, I think
Because
that's
I've-
part of your brand, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't feel like, I don't
Yeah.
know, yeah.
And how often, it might be an open-ended question, but how often do you post?
So I actually probably only post once a day on my Instagram.
Okay.
TikTok is whenever I kind of go on there and I'm inspired to either do a dance, or it's really hard because the stuff that I posted on my Instagram, the minute I post it on my TikTok, because obviously there's more skin showing, they like shadow ban it or they remove it.
Really?
Yeah, so it's really hard to
Yeah.
get my message across on TikTok.
Sure. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's weird. We're talking to Project Air. Those of you who are here for the YouTuber on Monday, he only does one video a month. So it just shows the difference in content creators, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like social media side, once a day.
Yeah.
YouTube, you can do like as little as once a month. He does 12 videos a year.
Wow.
Crazy, isn't it? It just shows
Yeah,
how
yeah,
different
yeah.
content creation is.
But I do have days where I'm kind of like, if I've not posted, it's
Yeah,
not
fine.
the end of the world.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I was going to say, have you worked out TikTok yet? Because that's like, I don't think anyone quite gets TikTok yet, but yeah, you kind of answered that one. How do you think that these guys, like whether they are, going to be editors, producers, directors, or content creators, how do you think they can stand out in a sea of other people trying to be who they want to be?
Just be yourself. Like, just remain true to what you want to do. And again, it's all down to your personality and who you are and what you do. Yes, someone else down the road may do the same thing as you, but what are you doing that's different to them? You know, think about who you are. You don't need to be anyone else but yourself.
So what are you going to provide that's different to other
Yeah.
people? Like, what's your value?
Yeah, exactly. Think about your value. Think about your why.
Yeah, no, good answer. That's pretty much all my questions. Are there any others before we wrap up? No. Can we give Cheryl a massive round of applause for thank her?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a privilege, and
Thank you.
hopefully you got something from it as well. So
I'm sure it
yeah.
did. So yeah, thanks guys. You can head out when you're ready.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
coming.
Oh.
I could never do that about PowerPoint.
guys. Please can you make sure you take any rubbish with you? Any rubbish that you've brought in, please can you remove from the room? Thank you.